Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your Pluto transition from Capricorn into Aquarius here on the Astroflower. Thank you very much for being with us. I hope you get the best out of this reading for you. Interesting times at the moment. This year's going to be a very interesting year. Um, it's an air sign, so it's going into an air sign. It's coming out of Capricorn, which is earth and water, and it's going into Aquarius, which is air and water. Your good selves is air and fire. So it can be a little bit sort of difficult for the emotions for yourself. And, I think sometimes, we can get caught in a rut where we're just constantly banging our head against a wall. And that's one of the things you've got to be wary of as well, of sort of, how it should be done. And, I wouldn't waste your time trying to, waiting for everybody to understand. As long as you've got some people that sort of within the same flow as you, I would go along with that and it will grow all by itself. It's also for your good selves, it is a time of reassessing, almost like education in a way, sort of like re-educating yourself. Not re-educating yourself, but using your education for another purpose. And maybe that needs updating, maybe that needs sort of like learning something completely new. It may well be a case of that. And there is a degree of sort of bringing that understanding to the community, and that's where you could risk to bang your head against the wall. I do believe there's also quite a bit of travel for you as well. That's what it seems to be like as well. It's going to really going to make your passions quite steamy at times, and just don't allow that water, that undercurrent water, sort of put out your fires. Yes. So, yes, there we go. There's one other thing I will say as well. Because Pluto is going through the air sign and it has come through Capricorn, and Capricorn's all about sort of like, dismantling everything and seeing what works, seeing where the problems are and redoing it again, but correcting the problems. We saw that in 2008. That's when it first went into Capricorn. And that was when we had the banking crisis and etc. And we've had a lot of things as well. And wars are going to be converted into revolution. So this is all about that sort of logical revolution that I've been talking about that's been coming to the surface. I have done a collective reading on that, and I go into a lot more detail on Pluto and etc. You may want to go and see that. It should be linked at the end of this video at some point. Yes, I will see you possibly there for that. Let's just get on with your reading, shall we? Overall energies for you. This is your karmic mission on your spiritual or your emotional path. This is the karmic message on your material path, your projects, your job, your businesses, or anything that's concerned with the material world, basically. So let's just see what's going on for you. I was trying to say earlier on, and I'm not sure if I said it, it's because it's going into an air sign. I think air signs are going to be confronted full on with the impact of Pluto in Aquarius. But it's got to be said that you are pretty much on the far side of all of this. So it should be a lot easier for you. I think it's going to be easier for you than it is for Aquarius or for Libra, for example. And obviously the overall energy here does want your success. And I think this is where the education thing comes into play. The whole idea of you sort of applying that understanding that you have in a world that doesn't quite understand. So you're helping people to understand. And it could well be the fact that you're educating people as well. But I think the energy is trying to bring put you in the spotlight. I'm not sure that's your most favourite position. I don't think you mind that much either, Gemini. And once you're out there, you're out there. but it might be difficult just getting out there. And I think this is what the overall energy is trying to encourage you to do. And it's because you've earned that spot. And this is, I've been saying in the weeklies, I'm not really doing weeklies anymore. I'm doing much more on sort of like, things that are affecting the energies and the spirits more than anything else. But I have been noticing in your weeklies before Christmas and leading up for a good sort of 6 months, the last 6 months of 2023, that there was this other path that I think is much better for you. Or you get more success, or you feel more at home, or it's more in line with you. And I think maybe, this Pluto and Aquarius is going to bring that to the fore. On your karmic path here, 5 of Swords, what did I say about butting your head against the wall? This is very much this sort of thing. And I think it's also, you are coming, this is part of your karmic path. You've got to come to this decision to walk away from temptations of, that's going to cause conflict for you. So basically, if someone doesn't understand something, normally you would be there kind of explaining to them and everything like that, and they still not get it. And it can be quite difficult to sort of like get the information through sometimes with some people. Those are I'm not sure it's worth you. It's not the hill for you to do your last stand on, as it were. And I think here is where you're going to really understand that when with Pluto in Aquarius. It's going to help you to realise that actually it's much better and it's much more helpful to everybody if I just rock on and, follow your path through. So walking away from any sort of conflicts and stuff like that is within your karmic remit, within your spiritual path or your emotional path. How's the universe offering it to you? Yeah, they're offering you lots of opportunities to discover and explore your spirit, your life, your love, your activities, your pleasures, all of those sort of things. I think the universe here is almost giving a plethora of opportunities and possibilities for you. And it works really well. It works really well, I think, for you in that sort of respect. It's whether you choose to take those opportunities. That's the main thing. So this is how the universe is affecting you. Did I say that? The universe is affecting you. This is how Capricorn, or the past, has been affecting you. And this is how Aquarius, or the future, is going to be affecting you in the general outcome. I'm not sure if I explained that. I might not have. Sorry if I didn't. How did Capricorn? Yeah, I think you do have a certain affiliation with Capricorn in regards to where Capricorn likes the way things work. It likes to engineer things in life, and that can be also on the physical front as on the spiritual front. They're very involved in that sort of thing, and that's what's been happening over the last 16 years. All of this stuff's been breaking down so we can see what really works. And in the spiritual world, there's a lot of people over the past, say, 10 years. I've been doing healing for 30 years, and I've seen many things come and go. I saw the build up for 2012. I was doing conferences explaining to people that 2012 was not the end of the world and everything like that. And and that's what it came to fruition. There's a lot of people who run around shouting a lot and offering a lot, but they don't really get what it says on the tin, basically. And I think you've understood this. You've understood that, it's not just a case of sitting there thinking, kind of going, okay, I'm going to win $1 million, and then you're going to win $1 million. That's just not how it works. And I think you've understood this, and this is what's bringing you a huge amount of abundance, because you like that way of engineering of that process to follow, of doing one thing that knocks onto another thing that creates another thing that gives you that result. And I think this is where you have that abundance within you, that knowledge and understanding. And I think Capricorn brought it to the fore with you in your life. Excuse me a second. So it brought it to the fore within your life. So I think you have a huge amount of knowledge and understanding, and it's how do you put that all together, really. Death and rebirth. I think this is a beautiful new cycle for you. But within that cycle, you've got to realise that sometimes it's, sometimes you just got to follow your path, and you can help people to stand up, but you can't walk for them. And I think that's an understanding that you really need to understand through this new cycle that's coming in for you. And it's opening up the doorway to this, to lots of abundance with the Nine of Cups, and with all combining with the connection with the sort of mechanics or the abundance that you have within any of your spiritual path and your relationship path. I think if you've been struggling to sort of do meditation, or if you've been struggling to apply yourself within your own spiritual path or your own emotions or in relationships, I think you're gonna realize the distraction that sometimes the world can do, and that stops you from engaging fully within your relationships or within your spiritual path, as I said. And I think that's what's going to be the major changer for you within your spirit. And the Queen of Pentacles comes out at the top. I think if you do this, and with that sort of education side of things, I think once you start going forward, you're going to really get a lot of security. You're almost going to know through this sort of thing, and for the fact that you're not going to sort of like pander to everybody, and with all these opportunities that are coming through, you're going to know when the results are coming beforehand, because of the way you see that you do one thing, and then that's the result. And you know that sort of process of producing stuff and producing good times for you. And with this, then almost that's what the security is within the Queen of Pentacles. She knows when the fruit is going to be ready on that tree of knowledge. And that's the tree of knowledge. It's all about education. It is a Capricorn card as well. So, I think you would have benefited a lot from Pluto in Capricorn in certain ways. It did strip, as a Capricorn, speaking as a Capricorn who took it full in the face, it does strip a lot of things back to the bone. And it can be quite hard at times. But I think actually, once you look back gently on yourself, I think you'll find that it's brought a lot of benefits for you in your life. Let's just see what's going on the material side. Your karmic path, there you get the Three of Cups. This is where the opportunities lie, I think. And this is where the travelling comes into play. There's a lot of joyous networking. And this is why I think there's a little bit of travelling coming into play. And this could tie into that whole sort of thing of, you might be going on a weekend workshop, or learning about doing a craft or an art, or learning about running a business or something like that in order for it to do it. And that's what's going to help you to open the doors to meet other people, to connect with other people, and really network in a great way, which is going to bring you ultimately great success. Because I think you deserve it in a way. And I think your karmic mission here is to be joyous in your material world, and also allow your material world to provide for you a lot of joy and connections with other people. How's the universe influencing you? We got the Moon card. I think the universe, this is where Pluto flushes things out. And I think Pluto is going to be doing that in a very mental way. And I think here is, I think you're going to be quite surprised by a few of the connections, nicely surprised, but it is going to bring things to the surface, which you need to deal with. And I think this is where the universe and through Pluto will be trying your aspect, because Aquarius is all about sort of family, friends, community, the human community, humane. It's also very creative, but also on time and to do with timing and everything like that, and getting things done. And I think you will actually appreciate it, but it will make you look at things a little bit deeper in regards to what you are doing and how you're doing things. And this is where you need to be careful about being caught into a rut as well. Because if you look too deeply, you end up then not moving forward. And so you need to you need to sort of like observe it and then kind of go, oh, look, I observed that and I saw that thing and deep within me. I'll keep walking along because now you've observed it. It will come to the surface every now and then, but it will be like waves, gentle waves lapping the shore of your reality. So you can pick and choose the stones and the shells and the little bits of the driftwood that you need for your life without having to be blasted by the waves, basically. So you just be very wary of that. Six of Pentacles, yeah, I think this is what the Capricorn is also trying to be, sort of enlighten you to, is the idea of putting yourself first. It seems to be a running theme here for you here. And I would really put yourself first, simply because it's going to make the world better for everybody else. Because when you're on a roll, the world is a better place. And that's where you should really almost like believing in yourself and to do things. So if you want to say, like, let's say you want to be you want to open up a public space for people to do yoga and meditation and stuff like that, because you've got a cafe next to it, yeah? And you're kind of thinking, I can make my money out of the cafe and stuff like that, so then I can just help to bring the people in through the yoga and everything like that. But if it doesn't work for the cafe, if it doesn't work for you, then that space can no longer exist. That's exactly what I mean. That sort of thing. You've got to realise that it's got to work for you. And I think this is where it's putting you forward a little bit. Yes, this is Aquarius, bringing things in. As I said with this, and it's coupling with the universe here very nicely. It is bringing things to the surface from the depth of you so you can see things in a different way. And if you take that on board, I think you're going to start realizing that your happiness and your joy and your connection with other people will depend upon you doing things in a slightly different way. It doesn't have to be massive, massive changes, but there is certain ways in which we engage in life. And when we know it, sometimes we have to stop ourselves and kind of go, oh no, hang on a second. I'm not gonna do that. Because last time I did that, I got stuck for 6 months in that situation. It's in your workspace. It's actually sort of like, if you really want it to work, this is where you've got to see things in a different light. And I think you've got to start realizing how good you are. Giving yourself a bit of credit, basically. It's going to help you float through of seeing things in a different light. Okay? Yeah, I think this is the challenging side for you. There is no doubt about it on your material side. I think it's a lot easier on your spiritual and your emotional side, but it's this Pluto through Aquarius is really challenging on your material side. And as it's challenging, I think you're going to realise the healthy boundaries that you do need to put in place. And I think this celebration on your karmic mission, the celebration and the connection with other people is going to make that really obvious of what people are there for the creation or for the project that you're dealing with or the business that you're in and everything like that, and the people that are not. Or the situation that is not, and you're just going to recognize the things that just do not sit right, and they're going to create that healthy boundary. But you do have to go on that mission, which is what the Nine of Wands has got hold of that sort of one wand and going off on a mission. So yeah, it's a challenging. I can't get the word out. challenging pathway on the material side, but on your emotional and your spiritual side, I think it's incredibly fulfilling, very, very fulfilling. And I almost feel that it's the more you fulfill this side, your emotions and your spirit side, the easier it's actually going to be on the material side. Let's just do a bit of clarification. Thank you very much for being with us, Gemini. I hope you get the best out of these readings. I really do. And I really do appreciate any support you give to this channel. It's absolutely beautiful. With the Six of Wands, the good quality work. Yeah, I think this is okay. I think you are doing the good quality work on your spiritual side. There is no doubt about that. But the actual main crux or the main bit of the work is really coming in on your material side regarding of your jobs and stuff like that. And getting out of your comfort zone, I think, is going to be a good thing. It will force you in order to sort of, approach life in a different way with the Hangman and stuff like that. But I think people are going to recognize the good quality work that you've done on yourself and you're doing on the world. And I think people will also bring forward their quality into your life. And I would be very conscious of that with the connection between the Three of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands. That is what you want. It is a great connection, really, for you. And it's very, very joyous. So, right, let's just have a look at what's going on with the Five of Swords. Yeah, you're going to have to work at it. This is what I mean by sort of, I do believe the air signs, because it's long, Pluto and Aquarius, it's 20 years. And I think it's going to be trying your air a lot over time. And which, for another sign, let's just say Libra or Aries or Pisces or Taurus, who doesn't have a lot of air in it. It's going to be a lot easier for them. But here, I think, because you've got quite a lot of air in your sign, you've got more fire than you do air, it's going to need work. And I think that is work for you. I think it's difficult for you to turn around and sort of say, I've got to do this, sorry, I can't help you. Or sorry, I can't do it for you more than anything else. Not help someone, because obviously, we all like to help each other and everything like that. And that's, it's quite good. But yeah, I think it is work. I think it is work. The universe is bringing in the Chariot with those Nine of Cups. I think there's going to be, as I said, I think there's going to be a plethora of beautiful things for you. And they're going to be coming in very quickly. It's up for you to, with the work that you're doing on your karmic path, it's up to you to really seize on the opportunity. Allow yourself to go with the flow, I think, rather than actually be caught in that rut, as I was talking about. And if it's passionate and it's feeding your fires, I would really, your inner fire, your inner passions, if it's feeding that, then I would definitely follow it. With the 10 of Pentacles, you get the Three of Cups. So that's twice you got the Three of Cups now on the table. Yes, I think you have understood a great deal within the material world. So doing activities, doing things, connecting with other people, doing activities with other people, enjoying that connection, enjoying that sort of those activities, enjoying that sort of community factor. You've enjoyed it, but without actually staking your claim on it. That's what it seems like. And now it's a case of, here is what this new cycle here is for you to actually, play some of your cards within your spiritual path or your emotional life, to actually, put a stake in the ground, as it were. That's the sort of feeling I'm getting. And so, and I think it will only help the community that is around you, the friends, the family, your community that is about you. And it seems to be all about that. And I think that's where you are going to thrive more than anything else. With the death and rebirth card, this is where you get that intuition idea, that learning process that you've been through. And as I say, I think Capricorn's brought a lot of that learning for you, and learning of how to be in groups, being in public and that sort of thing. It's really brought you out of your shell in a way. And now you can use that understanding and that education, or that understanding that you've done to project yourself into this new cycle, into this whole new cycle that's coming your way, that Aquarius is bringing you. It's very much it's a lighter feel to it, and this is where you've got to go with the flow. And this is where the air energy really, I think, is going to play with you the most, and it's going to be fantastic. As much as there is going to be storms with all that air as well, and recognizing that and seeing that. And I think that comes from the work that you're going to be doing on your karma. Preempting things, I think, it's going to be very beneficial for you in regards to your relationships, in regards to your spiritual path, but also it's going to be beneficial for everybody that is around you. And once you start getting confidence with that, that's when that starts coming in with that good quality work as well that went along with it. Looks quite good. So let's see what's going on with the Queen of Pentacles. A new cycle. This is everything's coming out of it. It's all new. It's really beautiful for you, Gemini. The thing is, that is a Capricorn card for me as well, because it's got all the elements on there. It's got, the earth, fire, air and water. And Capricorn has this, is the only sign that has pretty much like between 20 and 30% of each element. So it's very leveled off between all the elements. And this new cycle here is that capacity to use that inspiration and to use that abundance that Capricorn has brought you, abundance of understanding, this new cycle here is through that sort of assurance of your physical engagement with the world around you. It works really, really well, I think. Really, really well for you. And it is a beautiful new beginning. It's there, it comes from there. And once it starts rolling, it's really going to start rolling well. So, anything for regards to relationships, as regards to also your social standing, and just your friends, your networking, your community. I think it works really well. Let's just see what's going on with this Three of Cups here. You get the Lovers. This is it. I think you've got to reorientate yourself. It is Gemini. When you work very hard. You're very diligent. You're very precise in what you do and everything like that, and you do it for the greater good. You've got that respectable side to you that is absolutely brilliant. But now with Pluto going into Aquarius, and it's a lot more about creativity, about sort of community and stuff like that. That's where I think you've got to start falling in love with what you do. And if you're not really in love with what you do, and if it's really hand-to-mouth sort of job that you could change, I would change. And this possibly comes in with the whole sort of education side. But I think that education is within you more than anything else. But yeah, falling in love with what you do is I think is essential for this age of Aquarius, because we are moving into the age of Aquarius. And I think it's very essential for you. With the Moon card, you get the Page of Pentacles. It's funny, when the overall and the collective reading, which I've done on our channel, which you can go and have a look on, and we go in a lot more detail into Pluto, the Page of Aquarius comes up in the overall energies here. And it's funny that it comes up with, and it came up as a sort of like an undercurrent. And it's coming up as an undercurrent in the universal energies that are coming your way. So it's very sort of similar. It's very in cahoots with the overall energies. And this is where it's bringing stuff to the surface, as I said, new ways of doing things, educating yourself, because that's a card of education. You're learning a lot about cycles, about planting a seed, nurturing it, looking after the fruit, harvesting it, turning it into jam and selling it. It's a whole cycle that takes more than 9 months. So it's slow grinding, and I think that's what's going to be doing. I think there's going to be a lot of aha moments, sort of like, kind of 6 months down the line, you're going to kind of go, oh, right, yeah, I understand that now. And I think it's going to bode very well for you. If you realise you've got to do this with your heart, and if it's not making you feel happy, then I would look to either educate yourself in order to open up to other things, basically, so you can change your career path or your job or your business or whatever you're doing. Okay, so let's see what this Six of Pentacles is all about. We're back to that. Putting yourself first, getting in alignment with your higher self. And that's what that card could actually be about more than anything else. Now it's shouting at me. Yeah, getting into alignment, putting yourself first. It is everything in the universe works in a way that as long as I am okay, everybody else can be okay. That's how it works. And I think this is a massive understanding that's coming through from Capricorn from the past 16 years. If you look at that, if you look at what you've done in your career, in your business, or in your job, or in your projects, you can see where you've actually sort of put yourself out for lots of other people and you've never got the return. And I'm thinking, when you realise when you put yourself first, actually the people that you're helping actually go further. But you do need to look at that, and that's where the deep understanding comes from the universe as well. So it's, as I say, I think there's a lot of work on this side, but there is a lot of joy, a lot of happiness that comes out of that, internal happiness, basically. With the Hangman, seeing things differently, as I said, approaching life in a different way. Yes, I think you're going to be not only encouraged through, because we've got that there on the overall energies. The overall energies are trying to bring the success for you, but also at the same time, I think your guides, your world around you. And as I said, I think the more you do on the spiritual side, I think it's going to make life a lot easier on your financial or your business or your job side. And I think this is where this card comes into play, where you're going to be helping yourself to get to calmer shores, to get to a better place in regards to all of that sort of material world. You're being helped along enormously by multitudes of different ways. Okay? But you've got to have that boat, as you know, the last thing you want is that boat to have leaks in it. And those leaks are those sort of not putting yourself first, not having those healthy boundaries. It's a whole sort of learning curve for you, really, more than anything else. That's I think it's gonna put you in a really, really good spot, more than anything else. With the look at that. Okay, so I said on this card here. So with the Nine of Wands, you got this Nine of Wands. Look. He's holding on to that baton there because he's going off on a journey. And those Eight of Wands is all the understanding, the messages. So what you get from the Eight of Wands, all these messages, understandings about what not to do. Yeah? And that's what creates those healthy boundaries. And once you get those healthy boundaries in place, you can take that rod, that fire, that passion that is within you, and have that strength and to be supported by the world and the universe around you to just seize the power of life and live it fully. And there you can then go off in the direction that not only suits you, but is actually going to provide a lot for everybody and everything that is around you. There you go, Gemini. I've got the monthly readings coming out next week as well. The monthly readings for February. I was thinking about doing a live as well to do with the elements of the Astroflower according to Pluto coming in to Aquarius and going into this, because it is going to be a massive, it's like changing the playing field totally, so it's I think it's going to affect a lot of people in a lot of ways. If you're interested in that sort of thing, leave me a comment in the description below saying love alive, and if there's enough people, I'll definitely be doing that. Okay, in the meantime, thank you very much for being here. I hope you get the best out of these readings. I really do. Yes, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.